I am going to be perfectly honest with you. I really did not feel much like making a video today. I don't know if it's just because I'm physically and emotionally drained, or I don't know. It's just one of those things. But here I am because they keep saying consistency is key. Hasn't really worked out for me, but I'm just going to roll with it, and it's probably very therapeutic to talk. I captured some footage throughout the week, but it's just been up and down kind of a week. So if you remember, I don't even remember if I told you where we were in the whole dad broken foot hospital lineage here. He was moved to a rehab facility that he chose on Sunday night. So went to the rehab facility, and I'm not really impressed. I know these places are depressing. I'm just not feeling it. He chose it, and he has the ability to do that. He's capable, at least the hospital felt that he was capable enough to make that choice. And it's close to home. So it's literally right around the corner from where his independent living apartment is. Do I think he's going to go back there? No. But he thinks he's going to go back there. So he wanted it to be close so that people could come visit him, which they have. For someone who claims he has no friends, he had a bunch of visitors. So he's there. First night he's there, he calls me, and what was it the first night? The first night, his waist bag was full and it hurt. And there was no one, he kept pressing the button, and there was no one that came to assist him. So I called the front desk. They sent me to on a series of get transferred. I finally got transferred to the correct nurse's station. I had to call twice. Finally, someone picked up. And 6 minutes later, she came back on the phone and said, oh, it's been taken care of. So I don't think it had been taken care of previously. I don't think, you know what I'm saying? I think within that 6 minute time frame, it was taken care of. So that was the first night. Subsequently, he's called me at work all day, 8 or 9 times a day. So if you have someone going into a facility like this, do make sure that they have some kind of way to communicate. There are no landlines. If he didn't have a phone and didn't know how to use it, there would be no way for him to communicate with me. And so I just want to put that out there. Second time he called for me to call the front desk, it was, when was it? Within the week. It was within the week, and he needed to be changed. And again, he said he'd been pushing the button, he'd been yelling for help, and no one was around to help him. So he's had this happen more than once. Third time, he got a virus, according to them, and he's had stomach issues, both ends, continually for a few days. And he was feeling really sick, and we were at an event, Girl Scout sleepover. It was kind of not far from home, but I couldn't just run over there. And I called the nurse's station, and nobody picked up. There was no answer. I left a message, but again, I feel like he needs to be moved. But if he's sick, right? Right? He needs to be moved. He's sick. I have to wait till he's better. And then I'm going to check out a different facility for him. So that's where we are in the whole scheme of things. It's very stressful because he has a doctor's appointment, and they called me and said, hey, can you take him to his doctor's appointment? And I was like, he can't walk. How am I going to get him to a doctor's appointment? How is this going to happen? He can't walk. He has a waist bag. He's wearing, he can't go to the bathroom on, you know what I mean? How, what do you mean can I take him? And they're like, well, you're going to have to pay for an ambulance to take him because, which I understand. I get it. So then they had the ambulance called me. I'm at work, and thankfully I'm in a position where I teach high school students, so they do kind of understand if I say, hey, I need to take a second to answer this phone call. Don't worry, I am not the type of teacher that says that they couldn't in the same situation. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I allow them to keep their phones on their desk, and then if they are in a similar situation where if they said like grandma or grandpa's in the hospital, you know, I'm getting a phone call from a family member, I'd be like, go outside, take your time, you know, take care of yourself, take care of your family first. I would definitely not be like, this is school, you can't answer your phone. So I expect the same, right? And so sometimes there are times when I can't answer. Like the kids are taking a test, I'm not going to answer. And they call me several times a day. He calls me several times a day. I think what I've learned, there's a few things that I've learned from this whole experience. I'm going to share my, it's not really wisdom, but I share my observations with you if you happen to be, or you think you may be in this situation. You could be in your 30s and, you know, this is a long way off, but just keep this in mind for the future. Number one, you want to make sure that your loved one has a phone. There are no landlines, and even if there had been a landline, he would not be in a situation where he's able to reach it, grasp it, you know, learn maybe how to use it, or even dial the outside. So in the hospital and in the center where he is, he needs a phone. So make sure that whoever your loved one is, they have a phone, they know how to use it, and they have a charging cable. The second thing, make sure that their papers are in order. Everyone should have a trust, a will, advanced care directive, all of that paperwork laid out while you're still able to. And then as soon as it's done, don't save it for the future, I'll take care of it later. Scan every single piece of that paperwork into your phone. Everything. Because people will call you at random times and say, hey, we need this piece of paperwork or that piece of paperwork. And just having access, you have the ability to have access to it on your phones. You can use Apple Notes. Apple Notes is great. Notability is one where I've organized a lot of things, and Bear is another one, Bear Notes. The reason I like Notability probably the best for organization of the paperwork is I can put things in folders. You can do that in Apple Notes, but I can actually write on the PDF and then move that writing elsewhere. So there are times when I'm making notes and I want to write actually on the PDF, whereas with Apple Notes, you have to sort of write below. You can't write on the PDF. Those are two separate things. And so I think it's personal preference, but it's really nice. Every single piece of paperwork comes through and I scan it and I put it, even like his bills. He's got, oh my goodness. He has the funkiest way of paying bills, which means now I have the funkiest way of paying bills. He set up his bill pay in 2014. And in 2014, you could be really tech savvy and have your bank, you give them the information where to send a check, and then the bank would physically send the check to the company. And that is the only way the man knows how to pay bills, is through this way. Now we've moved on to, like, if you have a Bank of America card, you go into the Bank of America app and then you pay it there, and it works together very seamlessly. We have this extremely roundabout, funky way that he does things. Do the checks sometimes get lost in the mail? Absolutely, because it's the mail, it's going through the mail. Are there sometimes extra fees because it's coming with an actual check? Yes, I've noticed that on a few of his bills. It's crazy. But he luckily has me on all of his accounts, so I'm able to do this. I want to switch everything over to auto pay, or I want to be able to have apps open because the man has 12 credit cards. Why? And I would like to have them all, not that we're using them, but you know what I mean. I want to have them all on an app. And so I go to think it was it his cable bill or some bill. I'm like, I want to set up an online profile, get the app, and then just be able to pay it from there. No, because for every single one of his online bills or all of his accounts, he has used a landline phone number. Can't text to confirm a landline phone number. And because landlines have gone away in California, that phone number no longer exists. So the thing with the telephone wires, that type of landline no longer exists in California. We have voice over internet, and then you can take a physical landline phone, plug it in, and make it look like a landline, but it's actually coming over like fiber optics and works like your internet. So if your internet goes down, your phone also goes down. But that's what he wants. That's the way he survives, and that's the way he works. So the number that he had on the physical landline went away, and he got a new number with his voice over internet provider, and I can't change it or get it to text or do anything. So I can't even set up decent online pay. So I had to sign into his bank, get his sign-in information, and then get it on my phone, because I don't want to have to sit at his physical computer to pay his bills. I want to be able to grab the mail, get his bills, pay them whenever, right? Like from the comfort of my own home. So that's something else. I'm like, oh my goodness, we just have the biggest problem. But have your loved one add you to their accounts. And I know that that might be for some people, like, I don't want my child. Make sure it's a responsible child. Like, I would feel okay adding my child to my account. And he doesn't really have any choice. I'm the only child he has. So he's going to have to add me to his account. But I'm already on there. And according to his investment accounts, according to his bank, I am a joint owner of those accounts. For tax purposes, for legal purposes, for my own sanity, I keep things very strict. Like, I write everything down that I pay for him, every bill that comes, when I paid it, how I paid it out of his account. I moved money from his savings into his checking account simply because I know that his condo association fees come directly out of his account, and that because it's January, that amount went up a significant amount because they just can change it on you. And so I'm not entirely sure how much it's going to be this month. And because it's pulled out directly, I just wanted to make sure that there was enough in there. So I did take, I think I took $1,000 from one account and moved it to another account just to be sure that he had the money in there to cover. I'm finding out that there's stuff that I have to do for his health care, there's paper I have to file. So always like having your phone and then having an app where you feel safe to keep all of that information is extremely important. Other things that I found I definitely need or know, I have like I have a mini pochette in my bag, and I don't like to take my designer bags or anything into like the rehab facility, because I want something that I could throw into the wash. So have like a nylon bag, like a Lululemon belt bag or something that you can throw into the wash, and then just have a little pouch that you can take all of your essentials with you. Like I said, we just came from this Girl Scout thing, and it was really easy just to take a pouch from one bag to another bag. So I highly recommend you get some kind of a pouch that you can quickly switch it up, and then you don't have to, you want something that you can wipe down, have hand sanitizer and things of that nature in there. I'm trying to think of anything else that I've discovered. Just the sheer volume of phone calls, you probably want to have AirPods with you as well. People are going to give you random information, whether you are ready for it or not. And they'll be like, okay, write this down. I'm like, whoa, hold up, And if you have AirPods in, you can easily write it or type it on your phone. If not, grab like a little notebook and a pen and always have them with you as well. Moleskine makes a bunch of them, field notes, There's a bunch of companies that have small notebooks that you could use. But I've been caught off guard so many times. I've jotted things down on desk blotters and things of that nature, whether it be from him or from the people that are caring from him. I get calls from the nurses, the liaison, him, and appointment centers. That's pretty much, and like I said, he will call 8 to 9 times a day. This morning he started before I even woke up. He started at 4 in the morning, 4:10 a.m. And we're on it's almost noon, and we're on about our 5th phone call for the day of gripes, complaints, things he needs, all of the above. So, but he would have no contact with the outside world if it weren't for his phone. So I don't think he's boohooing technology anymore, right? Notebook, app, AirPods, charger, battery, those are things that you may or may not need. You're going to be on your phone a heck of a lot more than you are now. So just be forewarned, you're going to need to charge your phone up. Washable bag, app to keep everything organized, scans of all of your paperwork. I feel like that's pretty much it. And that's really where we are. Yeah, it wasn't a big get out and go filming. We did do a lot of cool stuff. We went to the Girl Scout overnight. I took some footage. I didn't take a camera. I took footage because it was kind of a sketchy. It's a beautiful area, but one, that one spark is gonna be wildfire forever because it's all dry and it's on a mountain. And then 2, because it's like the hills, and oh my goodness, I drove up there after dark and I couldn't imagine living there. I would be freaked out. I stopped on one hill and it was a hill and I was gonna back into a parking spot, and I hadn't even put the car in reverse yet, and the car started kind of moving backwards. I'm like, okay, we're not gonna park here. And then I found a better spot, like up the hill. But I definitely would not want to live there. I don't even remember oh yeah, so I got some footage of that, but not a whole lot. And it just I wasn't really feeling it. We missed our yearbook deadline. Totally missed it. I had planned to work all last weekend. This is the first time in 5 years we've ever missed a yearbook deadline. And I planned on working on it last weekend, but my editor took the whole thing apart. Everything. Every page that we had planned to turn in, she took apart to redesign. Now, I applaud you for having a theme in mind and for wanting things to look uniform, and the pages she just designed are absolutely gorgeous. But this is something that should have started 3 weeks ago, so we didn't make it. And I can't force myself to care that much because I got way too much going on. But I feel like that was a huge stumbling block in my week. It's been a really difficult week, and this coming week is not going to be any better. Just with the amount of stuff that we have going on. I'm very proud of myself. I have learned. I've not missed any work because of this. I am learning to work around it and to manage my time. And if something doesn't work with my schedule, he is in a facility. I am paying you to kind of take care of these things. And so, right? Hasn't quite worked out that well yet. I do believe I might have to take him to his doctor's. Well, I might have to meet him at the doctor's appointment. I don't know. I'm gonna have to talk to the liaison about that, I think. And I don't know if he's well enough to be able to relay the information. I don't know. I don't want to take away his entire ability to make decisions. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's not a child, and he's being treated like a child because he's in a facility, and he's very upset about that. So if I can, let him keep some of that, we'll see. But I haven't missed any work. I'm very proud. I've had to take phone calls, and so I think this week we might explore the new residencies. I was gonna try to move him this weekend, but then he's sick and he's just getting over it. So I couldn't meet him then. And then because he has that doctor's appointment coming up this week, I sort of feel like let's keep him where he's at for now. And then I'll go look at the new place next weekend, and then we'll consider moving. Then he'll be a little bit more stable, I think. Not that I can't drive him, but he'll be a little bit more stable. And now I have the name and number of the ambulance company that does obviously like private driving. So it's for the record, it's $380 to drive him 15 minutes. I think it's a 15-minute ride from point A to point B, from the facility to the doctor's office. So keep that in mind as well. Yeah, so that's everything right now. I managed to talk for 20 minutes from a person that didn't want to talk. Have a good week. Welcome back, TikTok. I think it came back a few hours ago. And we'll see you next week. Please keep us in your thoughts and prayers. And feel free to like and subscribe, but you don't have to. I'm going to make videos anyway.